I just want to invest in people that really want to be the best that they can be.
Hello, everyone. It's Todd Scrima and the lovely Robyn LaVassaur and the GOAT Jimmy Reed, and we are doing a podcast we do every month for mainly our realtor clients. I think it is for financial planners, any professionals. You're going to get something from this. This one may come across a little slanted because we're talking about 3% every time for realtors. What we mean by that is in July, there's this impending doom going on where the lawmakers say, hey, your commissions are no longer assumed anymore. You have to negotiate them. Talking about buyer's agents, and everyone's really, some people are scared of it. Some people think it's an opportunity. I'll say just a couple comments about this, and then I'm going to turn it over to Jim because he has some solutions for you. I think that one of the things I've seen, because mortgage has been through this before, financial planners have been regulated on this before, there's other industries that have been through this before, is the first thing that'll happen is a race to the bottom. Remember, you heard it here, that will happen. The problem is that we have coached realtors for me, 24 years, and they net about 50% of their gross. So the best realtors in the country, if they make 2.8% average commission, they'll net about 1.4% to the bottom line. The rest is expenses. So when this idea that people can do real estate for 1% is not going to work. People will try it and fail themselves right out of the business. So the truth is...
Hold on, dude. Like what you just said, everybody needs to hear. Because it's happened before. I've seen it. Like the last time this happened was, why pay 3? Do you remember that? And it would represent for 1%. And every single one of those realtors is out of the business now. This was like 15 years ago when I saw this happen. But what you just said is the most important part for people to hear. The race to the bottom is going to happen. And people are going to discount their piece so much that they put themselves out of business. Don't do that.
Yeah, do not do that. When things like this happen, it's a time of commoditization, right? Commoditization is when I feel that, hey, whether I use Robyn as a realtor or Jim as a realtor, they're about the same. So you have to add more value, whether that's real or perceived, for them to say, I'm going to go with this person, right? They just feel better to me. I have more certainty with them. I like their smile better, right? They perceive you as different or better. It's like any one of us know in America that if I drive a Ford Taurus, it'll get me from A to Z, but a BMW is a step up, right? And it's just...
Pretty big step up.
What's that?
It's a pretty big step up.
Pretty big step up. So, I've got to feel a certain way about you, and that's done through presentation. So, Jim, what do they do? I've now got to sit in front of you and I've got to get you to sign my buyer's broker's agreement for 3% instead of 1% that you're being offered.
Oh, that's a good question, but before we get to that, I would say that I don't really know exactly because I'm not a realtor. That's the truth. I know how to present to a buyer as a lender. And what I think we're going to see for a lot of people, if they really get smart, is that the lender and the realtor are going to present together. Like, I've been working with this guy named Ray Dare since the very first day I got in the business. And he comes to every buyer's presentation. Sits right here in my office for the first 20 minutes, does his presentation, tells them how he gets paid, tells them why he's referred him to me, tells them that that he's going to call him after we're done. And then he edifies me and tells them, Jim's super upfront and honest with you. If he can't get you a loan, no one can. I trust him with my kids' loans. You can trust him. And he leaves after he negotiates his commission and gets a buyer broker agreement signed. And it's like, he doesn't say it like, "Will you sign a buyer broker agreement?" He doesn't do it like that. He has a presentation. Here's the first step. Here's what I do for you. Here's the next step. You're going to sign this, and then I'm going to leave you with Jim. He's going to get you pre-approved, and then he's going to call me and tell me the numbers, and then tomorrow we're going to start looking for a house. Got any questions? Nope. Thank you, Red. Bye, Red. And what I'm trying to say is that half the battle is knowing your value and presenting it. So what we do, to get back to our realtors, on the third Tuesday of every month, we have a mastermind. We have between 200 and 500 realtors who attend, and we get one of the best realtors, friends of mine and yours and Robyn's and other people that we know across the nation, to share their best tactics. And for the next 2 months, we're doing this topic. So rather than me trying to tell you what you should do, I can give you 5 things I know you should do, which I will after I give Robyn a chance to talk here. I really encourage you to participate in our mastermind, because it's a top realtor telling you how to take advantage of this change. There's way more money to be made, way more opportunity to grow in a changing market. Think about your competition. If I'm a real estate agent, the sales pitch for the average and less than average realtor has been, you don't even have to pay me.
Which
right?
is why the lawsuit is in effect.
Which is why the lawsuit is happening. I think there's more to it, but yes, I think it's a little bit of craftiness on .com companies, but so now it's just about you justifying your value and having a professional presentation. So we're going to have the guest speakers. It's the third Tuesday at noon Pacific time. All you got to do is email me at jreed, REED, @summitfunding.net, and we'll give you a link, and you can be part of that. Robyn, you've been working on this for 2 months or more now. You've done more investigation than honestly anybody I know. Share us what you know.
Well, what I do know is that there's a couple things. One, you have to bring it up. And I think one of the things that people get afraid of is, I won't talk about it, I won't talk about it, I won't talk about it. Those days are gone, right? So many people, buyer's agent agreements they've always been in effect technically, but they weren't mandatory and nobody used them because they were afraid to ask somebody to sign here, right? Like to say they're going to use me. What they want to do is, hey, I'll go do all this work. I'll give you all this value. And then I'm going to hope that you're okay with paying for it, i.e. the seller paying for it, if you will. And that's where this is at. So one, you've got to tackle the lawsuit up front, right? What's really the lawsuit is establishing is 2 things. One, that a buyer's agent agreement is now mandatory, right? Commission has to be established at the get, and it has to be established what you're doing. If you're a realtor, you are absolutely bananas if you are showing property for free. If you are doing the work that you are doing for free. And for free means a couple things. One, it doesn't mean right then you've taken payment. It means you've established what you are worth, what you are going to do for them. They're going to hold you accountable. You're willing, right, to be accountable to it. But you know for sure that hey, I've established what you're paying me, right? Like it's a really, really, really big deal. And so that's one. The other part is that the commissions cannot be seen, obviously, in the MLS anymore, which means your realtor has to be willing to call sellers, agents, and say, hey, what is there? And discuss if there is a gap, right? Oh, there's 0. Now we've got a problem, right? Oh, there's 3%. We're good to go. But if you've never had that conversation and your buyer's all of a sudden in love with a home,
oh my gosh,
you're in big trouble. And so what I know to be true is that one, you've got to work on a professional buyer's presentation right out of the gate. And instead of a buyer calling you and saying, hey, I just saw a house online. I got your name from a friend, or I saw your sign in the yard on another house, or whatever the case, however you got the lead. Hardest to control the leads that found you than you found them, right? Like really big deal. So it's when all of a sudden you're talking to that lead. If you don't do a professional buyer's presentation, you rush out, go meet them at a house, you know nothing about them, and within an hour and a half, you're emailing them a document that says, DocuSign here to make an offer. And then you got to negotiate money. You're in big trouble. And so what I would say is that most people, we just did this. We did over 100 realtors in a room. And I've done this a little bit all over the place. And I ask every single one of them, how many of you are currently doing in advance of a single showing, at least an hour-long professional buyer's presentation? 0.
Like, the thing that you said that just shocked me, because I know it's so true and it never shocked me so hard before, is that the buyer's agent would submit an offer without even calling and creating a relationship with the listing agent and finding out what they could find out to sweeten your offer. And it had gotten to the point where you just zip over a DocuSign approval, like without never calling, and then just wait.
No.
Like, that is shocking.
It's shocking. And what we've done is we've gone to that, again, biggest purchase, smartest investment financially that you can make is still bar none real estate, right? Like it's a fact. And yet we've made it so trivial, fast. How can we get it easy? All of these things for people. And right now, statistically, the stats have gone to 5 offers before your offer is accepted. 5. So think about that as a real estate agent, spending time with somebody on 5 different offers and not having established all the time and energy that you're going to give it and then understanding your value, right? And so really big deal, I think, for you to do a professional buyer's presentation. The other is when you meet with a listing, most people that meet on a listing have a plan. They come in with an actual listing presentation, ironically. They come in, they say, hey, I do drone footage. Well, if 2 other agents sat down on this property and they don't do drone, you might win just on that alone, right? I do a professional video. I do staging for you. I do, right? Here's all the things. And so what's interesting is now all of a sudden, hey, I'm in control of my buyer's commission. It's not the seller. It's not whatever's offered, a 6% listing, a 5% listing. It's all of a sudden on me. What am I offering my buyer besides I'm going to show you a house, I'm going to meet with you? And so I think that what agents have to do is decide, and I'm not going to tell you exactly what to do, but I think it's so critical that agents decide, hey, what are some other offers? When you buy the house, I have it professionally cleaned before you move in. If you buy a house that you don't like, I'll list your next house at a discount. I'll list that house at a discount, within 12 months. Like whatever it is, I think you have to come in with some value propositions. You see people, I'll pay for the warranty. I'll do this. I'll do this. I think you've got to be ready with your buyers. I'm not saying give away the farm, but to establish action. I'll have Pottery Barn comes in and does free home consultations for furniture, stage, like how to decorate your home. Why wouldn't you coordinate that on a buyer who's shopping at this price range, right? Like I'm going to establish with Pottery Barn. There's so much that you can do. Our buyer's agents haven't thought about it that way. They think it's the fastest to answer the phone, the fastest to unlock the keypad, and then walk them through and then decide to digital sign a document. I would say go back to school, right? In real estate, stay in real estate, but go back to school and be willing to learn, be willing to re-hone your entire program and not only be that professional for a listing, but be that professional for a buyer and stay in control. I actually would challenge, and Todd, I think you'll attest to this. You talked at the beginning about the financials market and the loan, we've gone through this a couple times, right? Comp, redo, all the things, right? Restrictions, guidelines, government interference, if you will. And every time the truth is we've all gotten a raise because it's taken a little bit more out of our hands. And so what I would say is I think that's possible.
Professional ones have always gotten
100%. Yes.
So like the thing that's sticking out of me is realtors that I talk to, I've been doing loans for almost 30 years is, well, I'm asking them to commit it to me to represent them as a buyer. And I'm like, listen, you're asking them to sign a document that says they intend to use you. If it's freaking you out, don't skip a professional presentation. Tell them all the things you do for them, and then lower the bar. Hey, if I'm not keeping all my promises, I'll let you out.
Yes.
Just lower the bar.
Yes.
But the fact that they're willing to pick up the pen and sign it means that pretty much 8 out of 10 times they're going to use you. And if they won't pick up the pen and sign it, then they were never going to use.
Yes.
And how much time did you really save? And that is the biggest value of this whole thing for realtors is, yes, you got to be more professional. But the fact is that if they won't sign it, they were just using you anyway.
Yeah.
So good.
I'm going to tell you guys a story to close this out. So about 4 years ago, I bought a boat. And it's a pretty big boat. Huh?
So a ship. Just kidding.
Ship. And so I called this guy. I forgot if I got referred to. I did get referred to him. And the guy's like, oh, yeah, Todd. He's like on the cell phone. He says, you're kind of looking for this, kind of looking for that. He says, I'll send you some stuff. So a couple of days goes by and he sends me some stuff, boat listings, right? similar to their version of MLS. And then he texted me once or twice, maybe called me once or twice, and I called him back, and then I didn't hear back for 2 days, and finally I'm like, this is not my guy. So I call another buddy, get another referral. I called the guy on a Saturday, and he says, hey, his name's Sean. Sean's like, hey, do you have some time set aside now? I said, how much time? He says, I need 1 hour right now. I said, I do. It's Saturday morning. I'm good. So he proceeded to go on a list of questions. You could tell he had a spread like a sheet in front of him. And he just asked me, it must have been 50 questions. He says, Todd, I need some time to really drill down on what your needs are. And just him doing that was like, I was just like, this is how I would do it. Like, I got to know.
You think about stuff you never even knew was important. You're like, oh my gosh, this guy knows what he's talking about.
100%.
I never thought about that.
Yeah. Where do you want to take it? How far away? How many bedrooms? Just on and on and on. So then we get to the end. He says, Todd, good news is I think I can help you if you would like. I said, well, I would like.
Interview.
Yeah. And
Make away close.
he said, I need you to meet with me for 2 reasons. Number one, I need to educate you on boat buying. And I need you to physically show you some boats when we meet at the same time to save you time. So I can really see what, like, if all these questions I'm asking you is translated. I said, great. Now he's 2 hours away and now I'm busy. So we figure out a time right there on the spot. We set the appointment. Okay. I couldn't get off the phone without committing to a date and time. Right. So about a week and a half later, I squeeze in some time and I go down there. Sure enough, I get in his office. He gives me this professional presentation. We look at some boats and, I end up buying one about a month later. But he knew exactly what I wanted, why I wanted it. I felt heard. I felt listened to. I could tell you the rest of the story, but he just, to this day, he calls me and checks on me. Now, Robyn, why does he still call me and check on me?
Because you're going to sell that boat.
I'm going to sell that boat someday, right? He's not stupid, okay?
Especially right now, mortgage is on a budget.
Yeah, money line, what the fuck?
So
All
really,
right.
I mean, that's a story out of context, but it's the same thing. And we should be doing that.
And how many times did you think, honestly, Todd, and you're a money guy, you're actually a very frugal, like you're a money guy. How many times did you think, what do I have to pay this guy?
I already knew because he had me sign an agreement. And he did exactly what Jim said. He says, look, I'm going to ask you to sign a 90-day agreement. If you want out of it before the 90 days, because I'm doing a bad job, I will tell you, but I can't put this amount of work into you and have you just use someone else.
Because you found one on your own, right? Because you were on the internet. Because that's exactly what happens with houses. And the problem is we're so scared. I told every realtor in the room, alongside a very professional realtor that was coaching, I told every realtor, I said, the reason that we jump and we let somebody else control the process and we don't talk about price and all of those things is why?
Confrontation.
Fear of what?
Fear of rejection.
Yes, but the truth is, you don't have any other business because you're not doing the job.
Yeah, those are the rules. I can like you already have it. You don't even have it. You might as well take a swing.
But when you don't have enough leads, you'll do anything for the one, right? And so I would actually call it desperation. Like it's commission breath, it's desperation. And so, there's 2 parts to this buyer's agent agreement. The value is going to go up. I'll tell you what, I'll pay for value all the time. Time, joy, money, right? Somebody can bring me those 3 things, save me, make me, right? Like anything in those 3 arenas, I'm in. Realtors, this is a new game, and you're either feeling scared to death or you're like, game on, baby, right? Like game on. And the ones that are game on, you will see them rise. That's the truth.
Totally agree. Good. Well, thank you guys very much. Be a part of our National Lunch and Learn. It's awesome. Like
Mastermind, National Mastermind.
National Mastermind. I think
every Tuesday, every month.
Yeah. These speakers are awesome, and they actually sell real estate. We do not. So it's a great, I mean, some of the people that you've had in the past are great. I don't know who you got coming up, but they're great. I mean,
they're the top realtors in the nation. They're boutique realtors, Todd. I don't have people come and speak that have 72 buyer's agents and say they do 40 million a month when they really don't do any transactions, that's called a broker.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't have those. We have boutique realtors who do business themselves with maybe 1 or 2 assistants, and they're doing deals every day, putting deals together.
Yes, that's the key. Okay, guys. Well, thank you for listening. Thank you for all your business. We deeply appreciate it. We'll get all through this. And I with what Robyn said, it'll be kind of weird, but if you do it right, there's more opportunity, not less opportunity, but there's less opportunity if you don't educate yourself and change. That's just the truth. Okay. Thanks, guys. Have a great month. Thank you, Robyn. Thank you, Jim. Bye, guys.